G'day camper. If you love a coffee at camp, this one's for you. A battery-powered portable espresso maker that heats the water and extracts a coffee either from ground beans or a pod at the single press of a button. No boiling water, no kettle, no gas stove required. But depending on the type of coffee drinker you are, that idea does start to fall apart pretty quickly. Today's review is the Outin Nano portable espresso machine. So who is this for? Well, it's for the solo camper, or the camping crew of two, and espresso lovers. As far as your camping setup goes, it's going to suit anything from car campers to camper trailers to caravanners. It's so small, it was designed a lot with hikers and backpackers in mind. Nobody's going to have any trouble fitting that in their setup. Now, before we go any further, I just want you to know that no review on this channel will ever be paid for by the brand whose product I'm reviewing. That being said, Outin did provide this unit to me free of charge for the review. They are well aware that I'll be presenting my full experience with the product here, including all of the pros and cons. And having that line of communication open with them does mean I was able to secure an affiliate link with a discount code. So if you like what you see here in the review, check out the link below and you'll find a discount for you there. Now let's look at the hard stats. First of all, the weight. I weighed this on the scale at home, including everything that it comes with except for the charge cable, and it comes out at 707 grams. Now on the website, it actually says 670 grams, so I'd say on the website they were probably weighing the machine only without the attachments. But really, we're not hikers here, so what's that? A matter of 37 grams does not make a difference to us. That stands at 230 millimeters tall. If we take the lid off, take the cup off, and remove the portafilter, I can get it down to 170 mil high. And the whole thing in diameter, 74 millimeters across. You can buy a case to suit, but I've chosen to keep mine in a Red Rhodes canvas padded bag. Just like that. That unit is going to cost you between 209 and 249 Australian dollars, or between 135 to 149 US dollars. But there is a mozzie in my ear. Oh, mozzies are bad here. There is an extra spend that I think is absolutely necessary with this machine, and it's probably better talked about later on with a demonstration. What does it come with and how does it work? Well, from the moment I unboxed it, I really wasn't expecting such a premium feel. This machine is really nice in the hand, nice and solid. This is what it comes with. That's the machine itself, obviously. You've got the single shot basket there. You also get the coffee pod adapter, the cup obviously to serve it in, and this little scoop goes with the ground coffee. There's a few little tricks to that I'm going to cover shortly. Then of course you get a charging cable. So that's got a 7,500 milliamp hour battery in it. Ground coffee. This isn't ideal for my scoop. Fill the scoop to the top. It's got a little lip around the edge here, and the lip locks in with the basket. And then the back of the scoop is your press. Top goes on, pop that in there, and then the whole thing can just rest in the cup. When we open up the lid, there's actually markings around the top. So that shows you your 50 ml that you need for a single shot. Lid on because you want every bit of efficiency you can get. It's only a tiny boiler in there. And then a single long press of the button. Now we wait. 180 seconds, I think they say. Now there's no point in me timing this because there's so many variables of water temperature, probably battery level. But while it's working, I'll tell you a few things. The basket that's in there, that does about 7 to 8 grams of coffee. This will make 5 coffees this way, boiling the water. But if you pre-boil your water and put it in the tank at the top there, it will do it over 200 times. Now, as soon as that beeps again, it's going to start extracting the coffee by itself. And when it's finished, you actually have to manually stop it just with a single press of the button. So that's finished. It looks good. What do you reckon? Now it looks great. It's nice and hot. It's got a beautiful crema, but I'm not really an espresso drinker, and that's not a lot of coffee. I like a big coffee. Now, I'm not an espresso drinker, and there's a good chance you're not either, but there's some ways we can work around this. So let's dive a little deeper with the review. So I've had this since about March, so almost 6 months. I took it on 2 camping trips. I used it to make 8 coffees. And then I didn't use it for a bit until the espresso machine at home broke. I brought this into the kitchen, and then I really started learning what it can do and what it can't do. Then I started working somewhere that doesn't have a coffee machine. I take this to work and I churn out coffees for everyone. I have made well in excess of 100 coffees on it so far. I'm a white coffee drinker, so milk in a frothing jug with a thermometer on the stove top while the machine brews. So now you can see what I meant with the whole all-in-one thing. It kind of falls apart the moment you're not an espresso drinker. There is more I'll say about the water boiling feature of the Outin Nano in just a moment. It shows up both as a pro and a con, but first let's have a look how a flat white coffee turned out. It's good, but it's lightly flavoured milk. You see, I like a big coffee to sip on in the mornings at camp. Single shot and too much milk. We need more here. That's where that extra money I think you need to spend comes in. Let's have a look at the double basket accessory. Yeah, so basket plus they call this. It's literally a double shot basket, 16 to 18 grams of coffee can fit in there. That's nice solid aluminium. The whole thing is a lot more premium feeling. Like that machine is already quite premium, but all those parts you just saw are plastic. This is solid aluminium. Your basket goes in, solid aluminium dosing ring, and your tamping tool. Oh yes, there is actually a part of this I'm missing. One of these things. I don't know what they call these, but I know you're supposed to do this with it. And then I like this, to get the exact right firmness of your tamp, you just push it down until the tamper contracts the dosing ring, and that is ready to go. Now, inside the machine, you get a new fill level, which is down the edge there, and 70 ml, which is almost to the maximum line. Of course, double the water means double the heating time. So depending on the type of coffee drinker you are, you might be seeing one of 2 problems right now. Either you're a long black or Americano drinker, and you're thinking, how do I heat the water for my long black or Americano? Or you're making coffee for 2 people and you're thinking, well, that's in excess of 10 minutes to do 2 coffees. I don't want to stand around for 10 minutes. And this is where I say you can't do away with the kettle completely. These mozzies are absolutely shocking. Pro number 1, it's a solid quality product. Simple as that, nothing more to say there. Pro number 2, for an espresso drinker who's on the go, you'd really be hard pressed to find something that does everything all in one so easily. Pro number 3, it's just a lot of fun to use. First few times I used it, I wasn't that enthralled. But once I got into it a bit more and started to experiment and learn the difference it makes on how hard you tamp down your coffee and the grind and all the different ways you can do it, I really got into it. Pro number 4, this thing does up to 20 bar of pressure. Now you shouldn't really need that much. The ideal coffee is somewhere between 8 to 12 bar. And just for a fun bit of comparison, 8 bar is about 116 PSI, 20 bar is 290 PSI. Pro number 5, once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to pull off a consistent quality coffee. It heats the water to a precise 92 degrees, which is in the perfect espresso range, but there are some instances where that starts to fall apart too. Con number 1, the heating function doesn't quite do the perfect job on those really cold mornings. And what I mean by that is it heats the water to that perfect 92 degrees. But I think what's happening is it's 92 degrees at the top, and by the time it's worked its way through a cold machine, it's lost a lot of its temperature before it gets to the coffee. Now, I do have a workaround to come shortly, but right now, onto con number 2. It's only got a 1-year warranty. Now, for me, this is a premium product. It's a premium brand. And how do I say this? Warranty to me is a lot of it is a reflection of a brand's trust and belief in their own product. I think for that reason alone, it deserves a little bit more. Then of course there's the thing that it's not user repairable, and Outin don't do repairs outside of warranty. More on that in a moment. But right now, con number 3. The heating function is really only useful for a single short black or espresso at a time. If you're one person drinking espresso, not a worry. But as you've already seen, if you want to have a long black or Americano, or heat up some milk to go with it, or do a coffee for more than one person, you're going to be breaking out the stove anyway. Con number 4 is kind of clutching at straws. I've been an AeroPress user for a long time. It's a bit more fiddly to clean than the AeroPress. Now, I always talk issues and breakages. This is going to be really quick. Nothing's broken, no issues at all. Moving on, parts and repairability. As I mentioned before, this is not user repairable, and Outin don't do repairs outside of warranty. I had a look on the website, and we have a look for what spare parts are available. You can get these 3. So that's the pod adapter, the scoop, and the single basket. You can also buy the single basket as a set of 5. So if you wanted to line up a bunch of shots or have someone just doing baskets ready to slap in the machine and churn them out a bit quicker, you could go that way. You can also buy the cup. On the repair thing, I asked Outin if they would repair one of these outside of warranty, but I didn't ask it from my main email address that they're associated with. I wanted to know how the customer service was, so I used a different email address. I got a prompt response. I was very impressed with that. But they said that they don't do repairs outside of warranty, but if there's any warranty issues, they will be promptly addressed. So that's a nice peace of mind. The only other thing I wanted to know was, what's the battery life going to be on that? I don't know what type of battery is in it. So with the help of AI, I told it what the machine is, and I said, what battery is that likely to have in it? And after a bit of digging about how it got its reasoning, it seems pretty confident that it's an NMC type lithium battery. So you can get 300 to 500 charge cycles, so drain it to flat, recharge it, out of an NMC lithium battery. And this isn't even to battery dead, so 300 to 500 charge cycles until the battery loses 20% of its capacity. You're looking at about 1,500 coffees if it heats the water every time before you lose just 20% of that battery's life. So that's 4 and a bit years of making a single coffee every day. And if you were to preheat the water, 200 coffees per charge, that's over 60,000 coffees. I think that is beyond the lifespan of what you'd expect from this product. Finally, it's time for my tips and hacks. Now, my first one relates to that you're making coffee for more than one person, you're making 2, 3, 5 cups of coffee. I will preheat my water. Doesn't even have to be boiling, as long as it's pretty hot. I'll pop it in there, and then I will hold the power button. It senses the temperature, and it might just bring it up 5 degrees. Sometimes it'll just fire it straight through because it's the right temperature. Sometimes it will heat it for 30 seconds. It's just a really good way to make sure the perfect temperature coffee is going through. On that note, tip number 2. Remember in the cons when I said on a cold morning, the coffee that comes out the bottom here is not quite hot enough? Well, if you're pre-boiling the kettle, just take everything off the bottom here, put some hot water in the top, and double press to pump hot water through. And that's going to preheat all the internals. Whew, here we are at the end of quite an intensive review. Now, if you like what you see here, don't forget there's an affiliate link in the description which comes with a discount for you. If you're not interested in buying it, maybe you don't even drink coffee, that's fine. In fact, I congratulate you for watching an entire review of a coffee machine. And as always, if you have any tips, hints or suggestions, make sure you pop them down in the comments, and you may just be helping a fellow camper in the future.